Hi, welcome to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be walking you guys through, I guess what you could call like a special events makeup. I kind of wanted to gear this more towards prom makeup because I know right now is prom season and a lot of people are getting ready to, go to prom. But this really could work for any special event that you might have coming up, whether you're like a wedding guest, you're in a wedding, or I don't know, you have some sort of party to go to. Spring and summer usually is when a lot of things are going on. So you can make this makeup look work for whatever, but I know that when I was in school, when I went to prom or any school dance, I always did my own makeup. I'll put pictures up and show you guys. Now, I will remind you, it was a long time ago when I was going to prom, so my makeup probably is a little bit scary, but I always had to do my own makeup because I am from a super small town, so we didn't have access to like a place where you could go and just get your makeup professionally done. Like that did not exist. There wasn't just like makeup artists available to do makeup, and also it was really expensive. So my parents were not about to pay like hundreds of dollars for me to get my makeup done. So I always did it myself. I used the makeup that I had and I just made it work. So I wanted to make a tutorial for anyone that has to do their own makeup to show you that you can have a really good makeup look with the makeup that you have at home. You don't need to pay to get it professionally done. You just need the right techniques and products that work for your skin, and it will turn out good, I promise. So I wanted to walk you through that today. Let's get into it. I'm going to start off with the eye makeup first, just because it's going to be a little bit more of like a intense eyeshadow look, and if there's fallout or anything, I want to be able to wipe that away before I go in and do my complexion products. So the makeup palette that I'm mainly going to be working out of is going to be the Makeup by Mario palette here, the Master Mattes palette. It's basically just a bunch of nude brown colors. These are my favorite eyeshadow colors to work with, very neutral. Obviously, you can use whatever colors you want, whatever matches like with the outfit or the vibe that you're going for is fine, but like I said, it's more about technique than really the colors that you're using. So you can, do whatever you want. I'm just going to show you the technique that I'm using, and it'll be more neutral because I'm boring. To start out, I'm just taking this small eyeshadow brush here, and I'm going to go in with this color. This is going to be kind of like the base to the eyeshadow. So I'm going to take that and just start putting that all over my eyes, mainly focusing it on the crease, but it'll just kind of spread out everywhere. And I do kind of like push that up towards my temple just to kind of, start that like smoky look. But it doesn't need to be perfect because we'll clean it up later before we start the complexion. Next, I'm going to take this brown color here on the end, and I'm going to focus that pretty much only in the crease, like on the outer part, just to kind of start slowly deepening the eye makeup, but it's still a lighter brown, so it's not going to be too dramatic yet. And again, I still kind of bring that out here on the outer corner to deepen that area too. And I feel like it just kind of makes your eyes look bigger. I also like to drag that down here on the outer corner of my lash line as well. And I kind of bring it up and then they connect in this area. But again, it just kind of adds depth to the eye makeup and kind of gives like a wing effect. Obviously it's not, but it darkens this area. Now I'm going to go in with this darker brown color here in the middle, and I am going to focus this again mainly in the crease. This is probably going to be the darkest that I go. If you like your eyeshadow darker, you can go even darker, but that's as dark as I want to go for this look specifically. So this is going to be the last I guess, product that I'm going to add to my crease. So again, I'm focusing this in my crease and then again on that outer part of my lash line as well. I do want to add some shimmer to the eyes, and I'm going with like a gold sparkly shade. I'm using this e.l.f. palette. It's the Bite Size eyeshadow in the Cream and Sugar version, and I'm taking this gold one right here on this eyeshadow brush. And I'm mainly going to focus that on like the inner half of my eye for the shimmer. Obviously, it'll kind of like blend out to the outer corner, but I'm mainly focusing it on the inner half. I'm going to get this brush wet because I feel like shimmer is not showing up that well. So I'm going to take this Milani setting spray, spray it on the brush, and then I'm going to go in with the shimmer. You'll get a lot better like payoff from it. And then I'm going to take that same brush, that blending brush, and just kind of start blending the shimmers a little bit. Moving on to eyeliner, I'm actually going to take this dark brown here in this e.l.f. palette, and I'm going to do a wing with that eyeshadow. I'm using a really small angled brush. I just prefer to do my eyeliner with eyeshadow because I feel like it's easier to work with, but if you like normal eyeliner or want to do black eyeliner, you can do that. I'm just doing a wing with eyeshadow. So I'm going to take that and just start making a relatively small brown wing on the outer corner of my eye. I don't really bring the eyeshadow all the way to the end. I kind of stopped it like halfway, and then what I will do is I'll add just a little bit to the inner corner. Just to kind of like deepen up this area, but then that way there's not like a thick like band of eyeliner there, but it still kind of like blends all together. And when you're using eyeshadow, it's really, really easy to fix like the wing, make it sharper, or, you know, like wipe it away and redo it if you need to. Whereas I feel like if you use normal eyeliner, it's kind of annoying to get off if you mess up. I'm going to do the rest of the eye makeup later as far as like mascara and then like the lower lash line, but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take a makeup wipe and just kind of clean up this area to get off any fallout before I go in with my complexion products. For complexion, I'm going in with primer first, and I'm going to use the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I would say primer is probably very important to use for special event makeup because usually when you're going somewhere, you want your makeup to last as long as possible. So using primer is going to be a really important step. Obviously, use whatever works best for your skin. I have dry skin, so most of my products are going to be geared towards that, but you know, use whatever works best for your skin and will make your makeup last as long as possible. For foundation, I guess you could say, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid Filter. I know this isn't technically a foundation, and obviously if you like something more full coverage or more matte, use that, but for me, this product works really good with my skin, and I find myself reaching for it whether I'm doing like a more full glam makeup or something that's more, I guess, natural. This product just works great for me, so I tend to reach for it the most out of, I would say, most of the complexion products that I have. What I'm going to do is just take that and just put it all over before I blend it out. And with this makeup look, I am trying to use as many drugstore products as I can. Not everything will be drugstore, but most of it is. And the reason for that is because I know high-end makeup is not accessible to everyone. And for me, when I was like younger, being from a small town, like the only place you could get makeup was Walmart, which wasn't even in the town that I lived in. You had to go somewhere else. You had to travel like 25 minutes just to get to Walmart. So I know that sometimes you can't get, you know, high-end makeup, but just know that you can make your makeup look good with just drugstore products only. So that's why I'm trying to use as much drugstore as I can. To blend that out, I'm using this Refi Beauty brush, and I'm taking the big end and I'm just going to start blending that all over my face. Around the eyes, I'm going to take this smaller side just to make sure I don't like mess up my wing at all. But everywhere else I'm using the big side. Moving on to my under eyes, I'm going in with the Palladio Under Eye Brightener. And this is actually from Amazon, so I'll link this down below. I don't think that you can get this in any stores, but I could be wrong. I ordered it from Amazon. But anyway, I'm going to put that on my finger and then just lightly start to blend that out on my under eyes, just to add like a little bit more coverage there and really cover up my like dark circles. I usually hate doing my eye makeup first because I don't like being careful around this area, but when you're doing a more intense eye makeup, it's like hard not to do it first because otherwise it messes everything else up. If you get like a lot of fallout or something. Now I'm going in with concealer, and I am using a high-end concealer today. I'm using the Makeup by Mario concealer. This one is the Surreal Skin Awakening Concealer in the shade 160. I'm using this today because this is genuinely my favorite concealer right now. I love this. It's so amazing. If you can't get your hands on this or you want something that's drugstore, I would go with the LA Girl Pro Conceal. This is an amazing concealer too. I really love this, but I feel like this color is a better match for my skin than this one is. I think it's just like the undertones in the product, but the LA Girl Pro Conceal is really good too. That's one of my favorites. Anyway, I'm going to take this concealer and just lightly put that all over my face, mainly focusing it on my under eyes, my T-zone, and then covering up any like redness or acne that I have with the concealer. To blend that, I'm using my concealer brush, and I'm just going to lightly start blending that out everywhere. There's people playing basketball outside, so I don't know if you can hear that in the background, but if you hear a weird noise, it's probably people dribbling a basketball. I don't even know where that's coming from because I don't think any of my neighbors have a basketball hoop, so unless someone just put one in, I don't know what's going on. This concealer blends so good too. It's really great. So if you want to splurge on a product, I would 100% recommend splurging on this concealer. It's so good. I cannot say enough good things about it. I really can't. Next up is contour or cream bronzer, and I am using another high-end product for this as well. I'm using the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick in the shade Light Medium. That's what it looks like. This is a really good contour product. I love this, and it's very smooth on the skin and it blends really nice, but if you want something more affordable, this Morphe Shape Lifter Micro Contour Stick is really nice as well. This one is just contour though. It doesn't have like any bronzy or like color to it. This one does. This one's more of like a bronzer and a contour. This one is pretty much just a contour. So if you use this, you'd probably have to go in with some sort of like powder bronzer or other bronzing product on top of it, just because all it's going to do is really just like contour your face, which it works really well, but this product is kind of 2-in-1, so that's why I'm choosing to use it today. I don't have another like really good contour or bronzer from the drugstore that I love, so I am going to use this today. And it is broken. It doesn't twist up anymore. So I'm going to take this brush here and dip into the product and then just put that where I normally would. Like kind of high up on my cheekbones, then my forehead, and then on my nose as well. And then I'm going to put a little bit around my lips. I'm going to blend this out with the e.l.f. Duo Complexion brush, starting with the big side. I'm going to take that and just start blending out the products on my cheeks and my forehead first. And with contour or bronzer, cream bronzer specifically, it's better to just kind of like tap the product in. You don't want to like swipe it and make streaks. You just kind of want to gently tap the product in to keep it concentrated where you put the product. And then I like to take whatever is left over on the brush and just kind of run that lightly on my jawline, just to add some color. You could literally add like some product here if you wanted, but sometimes I feel like I don't blend it out all the way, so I just kind of lightly like to shade this area with whatever's on my brush. But I'm going to take the small side now and start blending out my nose contour, and I do kind of like to bring that slightly into the inner corner of my eye. If my eyeshadow wasn't done, I would drag it all the way across, but I can't do that right now, so I do just kind of bring it slightly into the inner corner without messing up my eyeshadow. But it's really important that you bring it all the way up so that it's kind of one seamless blend in this area and there's no like harsh lines. And then I'm going to use the small side too to blend out the contour on my lips. This ring light that I have is crazy. Like, I think it's broken and I need to get a new one. It'll randomly shut off and then I'll turn it on and it'll be like extremely bright and then randomly it will like go dim. So if the lighting in this video is weird, I'm sorry, but this ring light is like acting crazy and I don't have another one, so I need to order a new one because something is wrong with this. Anyway, next up is going to be blush, and the blush that I'm using today is from e.l.f. This is the Camo Liquid Blush in the shade Dusty Rose. What I'm going to do is put that on the back of my hand first, and then I am going to take my blush brush and dip into the product on the back of my hand before I put it on my face, just to make sure that I'm not going in too heavy with the blush and I can kind of like build it up as I go. But I'm focusing this more on like the higher point of my cheekbones just to give my face more of like a lifted look. I don't want a ton right here. I'm going to set my face with this Milk Makeup Setting Powder. I'm just taking a small brush and I'm going to lightly just spot set mainly where I put the concealer. I don't want this product all over my face because, like I said, my skin is really dry, so if I use too much powder, my skin and makeup kind of starts to like crack and that looks bad. So just really lightly setting everything with this brush. And then that way it's more precise, I feel like. I'm going to add just a little bit of powder blush using this Milani Baked blush in the shade Luminoso. It's a really shimmery pink blush, but I think it will just add a little bit to the look. So I'm going to take this really small stippling brush from e.l.f. and I am going to lightly add that on my cheeks. I'm choosing to use a small brush just so that I don't get it everywhere. I want it to be like concentrated. Going in with highlighter, I'm using the Essence Pure Nude Highlighter. This is a really soft, subtle highlighter, so if you like something more bold, then you are not going to want to use this, but like I said, this is really soft, so I just prefer it because sometimes I don't want to, I don't know, sometimes I like crazy highlighter and I like to be very, very glowy, and then other times I just want something more subtle. So today this is what I'm going in with, and I'm just starting by putting that on the like highest points of my cheekbones because that's going to make my face look the most lifted. I'm going to avoid this area. I already have some shimmer there from that blush, but I'm mainly focusing the highlighter on the highest points. And then I always like to add it to my nose too. Moving on to eyebrows, I'm going to go in with the e.l.f. Instant Brow Lift Pencil, and I'm just going to really lightly start to fill them in. Nothing too crazy because I don't want my eyebrows to be too bold, but I just want to fill in some of the bare spots. And then I always take the spoolie and just kind of like blend all of that out. And next I'll go in with brow gel, and I'm using the NYX The Brow Glue. I need to get more of this, but I'm just going to run that through my eyebrows, setting them. Now we're going to move on to eyelashes. First thing that I'm going to do is curl them, of course. So taking my eyelash curler and just making sure my lashes are super curled. Once they're curled, I'm going in with a little bit of mascara, but I'm also going to do some fake lashes too. So I'm not going to do a ton of mascara. It's going to be really light, and I'm taking the e.l.f. Lash and Roll in the black shade. And I'm lightly going to coat my lashes with that. And then put a little bit on the bottom lashes too. For fake lashes today, I am going in with individual lashes, like little individual like cluster lashes. These are the ones that I'm using today. They are, I don't have the regular packaging. It says Winks on it, so I don't know. I feel like they're maybe by Ardell. I think I have the link from a different video, so I'll put that down below, but they're just little individual lashes. And I'm going to take the shortest version here, and I'm just going to put one on the outer corner of both of my eyes. Maybe I'll add two, I don't know yet, but for now I'm just going to go with one. Lash glue that I use is the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive, and then these individual lashes actually go like on the underneath part of the eye, so that's how I'm going to apply them. And I just put a little bit of the lash glue on the top part of the lash, I guess. This is so tiny, it's really hard to show, but I just put it on the outside because that's what is going to stick to my lash line. I can't find my good tweezers anywhere, so I have this other pair, but they kind of suck, so that's been really annoying me lately. I have no idea what I did with them. but I let the lash glue dry for, I don't know, maybe like 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and then I'm going to apply it just on the outer corner of my eye. This is really hard to do on camera, so it might take me a couple tries. No, that one was easy. But that's what it looks like. It's very subtle, but it just kind of, again, like elongates your eyes, gives that like wing look, but it's just one individual lash. And I feel like these are easier to apply than strip lashes. I always have issues with strip lashes, and I feel like they start lifting on the inner corners for me really bad, and these do not. I feel like these stay really well. I had them on the other day. I took a nap. I did a bunch of stuff, and they were on until I went to wash my face before I went to bed, and I honestly forgot that they were even on. I was like, oh my gosh, lashes. So they stay really well. Lashes are on. We're almost done with the eyes, I promise. I feel like the eye makeup is like never ending with this look, but I'm going to put a little bit of product on my lower lash line. So I'm going to go in with that second brown shade that I used, and with that first brush that I did all the brown shades with, and I'm going to lightly just run that under my lower lash line just to kind of connect the makeup and, I don't know, bring it all together. And I am going to do a little bit of inner corner highlight using that highlighter that I used on my face, but I'm taking this like small brush here and just applying that to the inner corner. Last step for the look is lips, and I'm going in with this NYX lip liner lip stain pencil. That is what it looks like. It's a like darker like pinkish nude color, so I'm going to take that and outline my lips. I also really like this because it lasts a long time, so if you're going to an event or something, you don't have to keep reapplying your lip combo over and over. This will stay on for a really long time. I just kind of like blend it out with my finger a little bit so there's no like harsh lines. And then to top that off, I'm going in with my favorite lipstick, which is the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick. Again, this is another high-end product, so I'm sorry about that, but this is genuinely like one of my favorite lipsticks, and if I'm doing like a full glam look, this is usually what I go for. That is what it looks like. It is a pink, like a neutral color, so I'm going to put that on my lips. And I feel like it goes really good with this lip liner. I do have one last step, which is setting spray. This is also really important to make sure that your makeup will last, and I'm using the Milani Make It Last setting spray. This is one of my favorite setting sprays of all time. This stuff is so good. So if you want an affordable setting spray or just a setting spray in general, this one is great. You don't need to spend a lot of money on it, and it works really well. And that completes my special event makeup look, or prom makeup. If I was still in school and going to prom today, this is something that I would do, but really it will work for any event that you need to go to or you want more of like a full glam look. Like I said, when I was in school, I used to do my own makeup for prom. I showed some pictures earlier and my makeup was like, it wasn't anything too crazy, but it was just kind of like looking back at it, I'm like, what was I doing? It definitely could have been a lot better. But like I said, I am from a really small town, so I did not have access to like go to like a makeup bar or, you know, hire like a really good makeup artist to come do my makeup. That just is not a thing where I live. It still isn't even now. So I just made do with what I had, and I had fun with it. And I just wanted to show you guys that you can do your own makeup. You don't need to feel pressured to like spend that money or hire someone to do it for you. If you just find products that work good for your skin and then have the right technique, your makeup will turn out great. You just need to maybe practice a little bit or watch some videos and figure out like what works best for you, and your makeup will look great, I promise. So don't feel pressure to feed into all of that. You can do it yourself and still look amazing. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed today's video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!